driveway. Fuck's sake.
I forgive him. I forgive him because it was what Christ did and is what Charlie would do. The answer to hate is not hate. The answer we know from the gospel is love, and always love. Love for our enemies and love for those who persecute us.
It was an emotional moment yesterday from the widow of Charlie Kirk during the memorial service for her late husband. Charlie, of course, quoting from Matthew, where Jesus commands us to love our enemies and to pray for those who persecute us. Good morning and welcome to Morning Joe. It's Monday, September 22nd. With us, we have co-host of our fourth hour, staff writer at The Atlantic, Jonathan Lemire, U.S. Special Correspondent for BBC News and host of the Rest is Politics podcast, Caddy K, New York Times opinion columnist David French, and Rogers Chair of the American Presidency at Vanderbilt University, historian John Meacham. Details.
President Trump closing out a day of prayer and politics at the Arizona memorial service for assassinated conservative activist Charlie Kirk.
None of us will ever forget Charlie Kirk, and neither now will history.
The president's speech following remarks by members of his cabinet and inner circle, including an emotional Vice President J.D. Vance, who was close to the 31-year-old Kirk.
I have talked more about Jesus Christ in the past 2 weeks than I have my entire time in public life. And that is and undeniable legacy of the great Charlie Kirk.
God bless all of you.
Kirk's widow, Erica, who will succeed her husband as CEO of Turning Point, the conservative youth organization he founded, speaking emotionally about her husband.
But I will miss him. I will miss him so much because our marriage and our family were beautiful. I still.
Erica Kirk saying she would not weigh in on whether the government should seek the death penalty for her husband's accused killer, telling the New York Times, quote, "I do not want that man's blood on my ledger." FBI Director Kash Patel posting a lengthy update on the investigation into alleged shooter Tyler Robinson, promising the FBI is, quote, "meticulously investigating theories and questions about the case, including some internet-fueled conspiracy theories." Well,
Who all work up out in the gym upstairs wearing the weighted vest.
We will. That's the next round of research as well, JB.
Can't wait to see it. All right, this morning, Hurricane Gab.
We've been warning about it. We've been discussing it for months. This message from Donald Trump really lays it all bare, and what's happening in the Eastern District of Virginia is just stunning, really. I mean, we saw them drop a case against the mayor of New York for what looked like political reasons. We had not yet seen them try to bring a case over the objections of career prosecutors for what looks like political reasons, and that's what's coming to pass here, and it's really, it's unprecedented. We say unprecedented all the time, but this is really a watershed moment for the justice system in the United States.
Coming up, Wall Street kicks off a new week this morning after the Dow closed on Friday at a new record high. CNBC's Andrew Ross Orkin joins us with Business Before the Bell straight ahead on Morning Joe.
You realize some home maintenance jobs aren't worth the risk.
That's when we call a leaf filter to protect our gutters.
Leaf Filter's patented filter technology keeps debris out of your gutters for good, guaranteed. Call 833-LEAF-FILTER or visit leaffilter.com.
I brought in Ensure Max Protein with 30 grams of protein. Those who tried me felt more energy in just 2 weeks. Here, I'll take that.
Ensure Max Protein. 30 grams protein, 1 gram sugar, and a protein blend to feed muscles up to 7 hours.
You've asked me that 3 times already.
I did? This is exactly how it started with Mom.
Worried about your brain health? Cerefolin Brain Wellness has a dual-action formula that slows cognitive decline while improving memory, focus, and concentration. Those taking Cerefolin Brain Wellness experienced a slower rate of brain shrinkage. Now also available without a prescription at cerefolin.com and Amazon.
It changed my mind.
Neurologist recommended Cerefolin Brain Wellness.
When you're at the starting line for your next event,
wall from the variety. White House keeps heat on ABC's more. This shit ain't. It was. No, that's not me and never will be. And we're gonna get to all of it. But I think life is fucking weird. It was 24 years to the day that I made comments on ABC that got me canceled from that network, and Jimmy Kimmel took my slot. Did you know that? At Politically Incorrect? Oh yes, I got canceled before cancel even had a culture. So little headlines. Yeah, this is on my wall from the variety. White House keeps heat on ABC's more. This shit ain't new. It's worse, we'll get to that, but you know, ABC, they are steady. ABC stands for always be caving. So Jimmy, pal, I am with you, I support you, and on the bright side, you don't have to pretend anymore that you like Disneyland. That was always a great part of it for me when I got my ass canned over there. But I mean, this intimidation on the right is just so hypocritical. I mean, everyone is scared now, and they're all trying to kowtow. Good Morning America is now changing its name to Good Morning America, even the scum who didn't vote for Trump. I mean, listen to this. Next year, the Golden Bachelor is Rudy Giuliani. I mean, I'm telling you, everybody's scared. Wolf Blitzer is broadcasting live from the capitulation room. And the FCC says they're going to go after maybe next The View. They got a new show lined up. It's going to be great. It's called Morning Wood with James Wood. But I gotta say, and I'm friendly with the ladies on The View, but they didn't say anything about this week. Nothing. You know, because it's never been their thing to weigh in on the issues. It's just, you know, it's just an upbeat party show. That's why they hired people named Joy and Sonny and Whoopi. But no, girls, let me go out strong, okay? It won't kill you. I promise. It's happened to me, and I may go out after this show. We don't know. We don't know. And, you know, Jimmy, look, I don't think what he said was exactly right. I don't. We don't agree on that. He didn't lose his job for it. He said the MAGA crowd was trying to characterize the assassin as anything but one of them, because the 22-year-old kid he jaw, his family was MAGA. As if a 22-year-old with a trans girlfriend never rebelled against their family. I mean, but was he on the left? I don't know that either. And I hate to do this. I'm tipping the end of the show, which I work so hard on to keep a secret from the rest of the show. But it's too relevant. What I'm talking about at the end, I'm going to have to say now, which is that it is a fool's errand to try to say that these nuts who do these things are any team. Jimmy's wrong, I think, to put him in one team. But, you know, look at what this guy is doing. I mean, Jimmy has every right to be wrong, but look at this guy. He was doing porn video games with furries. He was on a game called Furry Shades of Gay 3. This kid is in his basement with VR goggles on, getting virtually ass-fucked by a cartoon wombat? And you're going to put politics into this? This kid doesn't belong in either party. He belongs in a straitjacket. He's an outpatient who should not be out. But you have the right to be wrong, or to have any opinion you want. That's what the First Amendment is all about. I was defending it last week on this show against what they're doing in England against the left. Come on, guys. Be fair. Now Trump is going after the New York Times. He sued them for $15 billion. He said they're a mouthpiece of the Democratic Party. You know what, Don? They are. You're right. And that's their right to be that. Like there's not 1,000 people on the right who are your mouthpiece? Okay, that's how we work in this country. And he is mad at the New York Times today. He put a tariff on Wordle. But you know, we can't go down this road, guys. We really can't. I mean, today Trump said he was designated Antifa a major terrorist organization, and they were shocked. They said, we're organized? We're not. There is no organization. Antifa is a broad designation with no identifiable leader and no observable plan, like the Democrats. So Jimmy, let me just say, pal, you did a great, funny show for 2 decades. You should be proud of that. If this firing goes for you the way it did for me, you'll get 23 years on a better network. We've got a great show. Alex Wagner and Joe Manchin are here. But first up, he is the former ICE director under President Trump and known currently as the administration's borders czar, Tom Homan. Tom. Pleasure to meet you, sir. Thank you for coming here. Yes, and I mean that sincerely. The first thing I have to tell you is that Republicans come here. I was saying on my show a couple. A couple of weeks ago, and people I saw from the reactions on the internet were shocked that I mentioned this. I should have said it before. Just one more week. I got a funny bit next Friday. Okay. He is a former senator from West Virginia whose new book is called Dead Center in Defense of Common Sense. Joe Manchin holding up his book. There you go. And she is an MSNBC senior political analyst and a contributor to the Pod Save America podcast. Our returning champion, Alex Wagner, is here. That's very kind of you. All right, slow news week. So, but let's not bury the lead. Let's just get first into the stunning, breathtaking level of hypocrisy about cancel culture, because apparently cancel culture, and then I do want to get into how complicit the left is in, because nothing happens in a vacuum, and we'll get to it there. What?
You and I are not that far apart on what's going on.
Yeah, well, we'll find out. Yeah. But I mean, it does seem like cancel culture is really not about left or right. It's just about who has the power. And if you have the power, you can direct threats, porn, copyright infringement, inciting violence.
Put all that on the
we
internet.
can't do any of that.
Think about when AI
not what Jimmy Kimmel did.
Yeah,
Okay.
and I think we're missing a little bit of the point. The President of the United States said explicitly, Jimmy's next. And then his FCC chair went out and channeled his best Goodfellas impression and said, we could do this the easy way or we could do this the hard way. I mean, without the accent.
Well, what is the hard way, by the way?
The hard way, I guess, is, the FCC getting involved, but instead basically called the Sinclair and the affiliates out to make trouble, basically, for ABC, and ABC caved. ABC caved because ABC had caved before, because Bob Iger had already paid Trump effectively $15 million as an apology for something George Stephanopoulos said. These guys have decided that the spinelessness is their active stance.
It's funny, when they fired me, Ari Fleischer was asked in the press room about it, and he said, Americans need to watch what they say. And everybody was like, ooh, So quaint. That was scanned, and everybody was like, oh no, Ari Flight, that's too far. Americans don't need to watch what they say. And now, I mean, these people do not understand free speech at all. I mean, listen to Mike Pence. The First Amendment of the Constitution protects against government censorship of individuals. The First Amendment, though, does not protect entertainers who say crass or thoughtless things. The fuck yeah, it does. What are you talking about? It's like, doesn't protect crass or thoughtless things. Even England would not go for that.
And Brendan Carr's been like going on podcasts in the time since Jimmy's been taken off the air, saying this is about political ideology. I mean, like, give me a break. This wasn't about whatever Jimmy Kimmel said on Monday. This is about silencing people who are critics of this administration.
But here's Pam Bondi. There's free speech, and then there's hate speech. No. Hate, that's the whole point, is that free speech means we defend the speech we hate. The standard test is Nazis marching in Skokie, a town full of Holocaust survivors. The Supreme Court says you can do that. If that's not right up to the line on what were the direct threats and inciting violence, that is right up to there. And they said, no, if you want to have a country with free speech, you let them. And this guy's talking about crass comments from...
Let me just say something on this, but I've always said this, I'll take constructive criticism well, because it's helped me. It's helped me not make mistakes and repeat them over, and helped me basically how I would say things, and how I approach things. But the press has been...
Well, I hate your tie. No, I'm kidding.
It's beautiful.
I wasn't even going to wear a tie.
No,
I thought for you I would. They said
thank
you wore a
you
tie.
very
He
much.
dressed up for you.
Yeah, I appreciate it.
Ted Cruz. At least Ted Cruz said this guy, the FCC,
Yes.
is crazy. You can't do that. Get rid of him.
Right. Well, okay, here's the ultimate irony, though. Charlie Kirk said, hate speech does not exist legally in America. By the way, I've always been on the same page. Look at the tapes over the decades. This has always been my thing. I never believed in the concept of hate crimes or hate speech. It's a thought crime. We didn't used to have it. They changed it, the liberals. And, so I've always been what I think, doesn't matter what side. Hate speech does not exist legally in America, says Charlie Kirk. There's ugly speech, there's gross speech, there's evil speech, and all of it is protected by the First Amendment. Keep America free. Could you guys at least honor the person you're insisting that we honor by honoring his words?
The administration's Wizard of Oz, Tucker Carlson, has come out and said that he said that what Pam Bondi said isn't okay. Megyn Kelly also said what Pam Bondi said isn't okay. They haven't weighed in on Kimmel, but I am eager to hear their thoughts because I think it is an extension of what Pam Bondi was talking about.
Well, I mean, I think we move the goalposts so much now because of what Jimmy Kimmel got fired for that we forget that as abhorrent, I at least feel it's abhorrent, a lot of people in this country apparently don't, it would be to mock somebody's death, even if you disagreed with them, completely abhorrent, but not illegal. I'm sorry. And this idea that they have, that they seem to be pushing, that we can't even utter his name, like he's the Prophet Muhammad, peace and blessings be upon him. No, this is, and again, we should call out those people. Somebody on your network got shit canned. Matthew.
I think the official term was let go.
Okay, this is Matthew Dowd said you can't be saying these awful words and then not expect awful actions to take place. Yes, you can. I do expect that. I do not expect awful actions to take place. I think this is awful when you open this window. Like, I didn't like what he said, and what he said was vile and this and that. Irrelevant. Irrelevant. We don't shoot people in this country, and we don't defend it, and we don't mock their death.
No, you can't. There's no place for violence in this country of any kind. But when there is violence, to have it in the political arena, the hardest thing I've got right now, Bill, is getting people to run for office. People, good quality people, character, raised properly, in for the right reason, putting the country before themselves or before the party. That's hard to find. And when you do find them, they say, I don't think I want to go through all that scrutiny and people beating on me and calling me names and my family and all this. I said, it's a small price to pay for a wonderful country that we live in, a wonderful life. You have an opportunity. for, but someone has to do it. And when you have a representative form of government that we have, our democracy is based on we are going to govern ourselves. We can do that. It's an experiment. 240 plus years in the making. 200 years have been pretty good. We had a little rough spot in the Civil War, but we got through that.
Let's back that up and say you are a politician going for a joke, which they're bad at.
I was not.
I'm saving him, my dear. I'm not hurting him. He said something that they're going to jump on because he was downplayed. I know you didn't mean. I know you think
I'm sorry. Okay, I can tell right now.
Exactly. Let's just quash it now.
Gotcha.
Because this bullshit has to stop. This gotcha. Don't go after Joe Manchin because he inartfully said a bad joke. Joe Manchin thinks slavery was horrible, and the Civil War was great. It was good that we fought it.
Yeah.
Okay.
I'm glad we brought that up.
Say it more enthusiastically.
Absolutely, it's horrible.
Okay. Yes.
Okay. I said self-governing has been going on for 240 years plus.
Right.
Okay. And we've had some rough spots. We've always gotten through it. We've always gotten through that. We've always come back as a country. But when people quit caring, the only people left is those that don't care. And when you have people that won't participate, won't run for office, and now they're scared for their life to be involved in political discourse, this is unbelievable.
Yeah, journalists who don't want to be journalists anymore.
That's
I feel
exactly
like nobody wants to do anything.
Well, at least you have a job for a while.
Do I? That's so far.
Do any of us? I mean,
do any of us?
We'll see next week. But just I'll tell you somebody. It's so interesting. I'll tell you a journalist who's on TV who did not get fired, who said something you might think is controversial, but he's still there. Brian Kilmeade. He's on Fox News. This is the morning show where they usually are wishing happy birthday to 100-year-olds. They're talking about the homeless. His co-host says a lot of them don't want to take the programs to get the help. Yes, that's true. This is an issue that should be debated. I'm saying to the homeless, either you take the resources that we're going to give you, or you're going to be locked up in jail. Well, I wouldn't lock them up in jail, but I agree they shouldn't be on the street. Brian says, or just kill them. And this apparently not controversial.
Well, I dare say, but we live in a moment when maligning, insulting, or otherwise calling for the death of the poor, the weakest people of color isn't exactly punished by.
I never heard anyone call for the death of them before. Let's be clear here. This is new, but just the fact that it just the angel of death just passed right over that one.
At 8:30 in the morning.
Well, okay, so listen.
Civility is gone. Someone said, I hear all these rumors we're going to have war and we're going to have basically crusades. The only crusade we really need is a crusade for civility. And it starts at the top. And I would ask President Trump, there's one person that can start it, and he can basically start bringing the country together, because we cannot continue to divide us the way we are, and you can't throw more fuel on the fire. He could say something, we're going to tamp this down. We're going to come together as a country. I'm the leader of the country. I said, Mr. President, we need a comforter. We need somebody that will comfort this country.
Joe, not even everyone believes we should. I saw Marjorie Taylor Greene this week tweeting about how we need a national divorce, and she has done this before, and I looked it up. She is not the only one who has said that. Ben Shapiro talks about maybe a friendly separation would be the way to go. Sarah Silverman is talking about
we should have any worse than it is.
A USA 1, USA 2. Candace Owens says you don't need a bloody war to secede, you could just do it. Glenn Beck said he's for succession, theirs. See, but this is how you get into that. Then who gets the name? Who gets to call themselves American? And this is where we get to the point where we need the lawyers.
Well, we talked about.
We are going to have a national divorce. We bring in the lawyers and decide who gets what. Would you like to hear? Okay. We're just going to decide which side, as they do in a divorce settlement. For example, the Democrats will get Broadway, the Republicans get Branson. That's just fair. The Republicans will get the mullet, the Democrats get the man bun. Yes, that's... the Republicans get the NRA, Democrats get NWA. Yeah, the Democrats get Barnes & Noble, Republicans get Barnes. Democrats get gluten-free vegan foods. Republicans get flavor. Democrats get the gay bars. Republicans get the airport men's room. Republicans get honky-tonk badonkadonk, and Democrats get what ass pussy. I mean, that seems completely fair. Republicans get daytime South Carolina Senator Lindsey Graham. Democrats get his nighttime alter ego, Myrtle Beach. And Democrats get a black Captain America, and Republicans get a white jazz musician. All right. So, you mentioned Ted Cruz, and you're right. Ted Cruz said, I hate it what Jimmy Kimmel said, but if the government gets in the business of saying what we don't like what you, the media, have said, we're going to ban you from the airwaves, it will end badly for conservatives. I would add, Ted, for the country really should be even more. But at least he did.
He's right on.
He's right, and this is the point I'm always trying to make here. You need to talk to people. I've had Ted here. I've had them all here. I did my podcast with Charlie Kirk. I'm glad I did. I'm glad I got to know him. I always say it, everybody's a monster till you talk to them.
Let me give you one story real quick. I have a boat on the river, Potomac River, and I try to bring Democrats and Republicans together. It's only a little boat on the river.
There's a houseboat
on the river, yeah.
Okay. Which I stay on when I'm there, because if things get bad, I can cut the ropes and go.
You live in a boat on the river?
Yeah, I do. On
Just
Potomac
like every
River.
detective.
Yeah. Anyway, let me just say. So one night I had people coming, okay, different Democrat and Republicans. I had Tom Harkin there from Iowa, most beautiful person, good friend of mine. Pretty far left, but he's just a great guy. And then I'm talking to Tom. He said, Joe, 30 years I've never been on the river, and I can't wait for tonight. And I said, Tom, glad to have you. Gave me a glass of wine. About that time, Ted Cruz started walking down the ramp to get on the boat. Tom wanted to jump off. And I said, Tom, no, we can't, no. We're in this now. Come on, just have another glass of wine. I said, everything's going to be fine. So I said, untie the ropes quick, we got to get out of here. So we started out, and I swear to God, before the night was over, the two were talking, became friends, and did an amendment the next day. You're right. Nobody knows anybody. We spend no time together at all. You understand, we only have one bipartisan lunch a year.
He was going to jump off the boat?
I'm not sure. Yeah, he wanted off the boat. And I wanted to get out off the dock, okay? He wanted off the boat.
Maybe have a helicopter waiting to lift him.
I guess, can I just say, I am, first of all, God bless you for doing this work of trying to bring people together, and there needs to be more of that. But let's not ignore the elephant. I mean, we have a precedent less than 24 hours after Charlie Kirk was assassinated, was blaming the radical left, was not trying to bring the country together, who has built a platform on grievance and division, who encourages virulent behavior and activity and rhetoric, and who has instilled in his entire administration a punitive streak, and who has given light and rise to people who want to highlight the most destructive parts of our society and who want our differences to define us.
Okay, but here's a test now. Now say this about the other side.
Wait a second.
Because it could also be said. But just do it, just as a test. Can you do it?
Yes, Joe Biden did not do that. Barack Obama did not do that.
Okay, no, you're right. The presidents did not. Absolutely.
But it matters. He is the head of the party, and he has co-opted the Republican Party.
But there's lots of people wearing Free Luigi T-shirts out there. There is a formidable bunch of people who are very comfortable with the idea of eat the rich, and if you are not the kind of person we think
that exists.
Okay.
Absolutely that exists. And that has to do with people feeling outside the system. They are filled with rage. We have a society that's splintering. There are no common spaces anymore. We've lost community. People are tied up in social media instead of talking to each other. I mean, it's a whole host of things, and I'm not excusing that kind of behavior by a long shot. But let's not pretend like the people in power, the people who run the legislative and the executive branch and are at the Supreme Court, are fomenting division. They are not trying to bring us together.
Okay, I agree. They're not.
That matters. matters.
It matters. It does, of course. It's.
Let me ask you this: what do you think if just the Democrats said, "Mr. President, we want to work with you. Help us calm this down. Help us heal the country. We want to work with you and secure the borders. We made a mistake. Can you work with me on legal immigration so we can have a country that we have today in the future?" That's what has to be done. But you can't just fight.
The first thing you have to do is talk to him. I'm telling you, talk to everybody. Like we're
You've been
saying.
with the president. You've been with the president.
Exactly.
He's very accommodating.
I saw this weekend, last weekend, Jay-Z and Beyonce had dinner in Atlantic City with Jared Kushner and Ivanka Trump. Do we not talk to them now either?
Because it's an issue they
oh
care
no,
about,
they
which
get
is
a
criminal
pass.
justice reform. I mean, that matters.
All the issues matter, and this is how any of them. If we're going to make any progress with this, but
he's your president for 3 more years. He's my president. He's your president. He's all of our presidents. My job, if I'm in a position as a United States senator or a congressperson, is to do everything I can to make my president successful, but never be afraid to speak truth to power. But you have to do it respectfully. You have to be respecting that office and the people that put you there, which is we're self-governing, okay? We made a decision. We chose you. If we chose you, then I don't care. I'm not going to fight you. I want to work with you. I want you to succeed. And I said, Mr. President, we need that leadership now. We need you to step up. And if the Democrats, I said, calling him names, it's just like throwing fuel on a fire. It's not going to make him any better.
So
individually, when you were with him, I've been with him individually. Most accommodating, gracious. You can talk to him. He's engaging.
He's much more self-aware than he lets on in public. They have this thing where when they go out in public, it has to be all war all the time. I'm not saying that's a good way to handle it either. I'm just saying it's more complicated than that, and you're good. They have all the power. You're not going to do anything by just doing the left does have this bad attitude of go no contact. I mean, that's a big thing with your family.
And my little family from West Virginia, where I was raised, my grandmother took everybody in. Back in the 50s, there was no social services. She made us little kids whitewash.
No, they believe in not talking to members of your family. I mean, at the Emmys, would it have killed someone to get up there, since they all want to talk about their politics, would it kill somebody to get up there, not give a speech about how much they like Charlie Kirk, just to say, we had a political assassination this week, and that's wrong, and they would have been booed off the stage because he was on the wrong team. So you're not even allowed to say that. Can you imagine if a left-wing person was assassinated that week? The whole show would have been about that. Is that not just true? Can't you admit that?
I think the Charlie Kirk assassination needs to be reframed as an issue of how our democracy actually functions and survives. We cannot be assassinating people who are different from us, who believe different things, full stop. Charlie Kirk's assassination is as bad for Democrats as it should be as it is for Republicans. It is not okay.
Right.
Okay?
Yeah.
And everybody needs to get on that same page. And you do not have to agree with what he said or what he believed in, but you have to mourn what his death represents.
Yeah.
Right? And that is not a good
and
thing for our
him as a
country.
human.
But
as a human.
But there has been so much hate and vitriol spewed from the top of this administration and has infected the entire party.
Yeah.
I understand why people don't have the stomach for it sometimes, but I'm telling you,
coming from both sides, it really
is not the same thing.
It's not when
it
it comes
is
to
not a concerted. It is not. There is more of a.
They always take it to a worse level. I mean, yes, there was cancel culture on the left, but it didn't come this much from the government. Yes, Biden did put his thumb on the scale a little with COVID and make social media not say some of the things that we now know are true about that. But generally, they didn't do that. But Trump gets in office, of course, they're always going to take it to level 10. But before we run out of time, I do want to ask you, because I think you're going to run for president again, probably. Okay, well, I'll take that as a non-denial.
Let me just say, our dear friend, this morning I had breakfast with our dear friend Arnold Schwarzenegger. And he and I were talking. He says, Bill's my good friend. He said, now Bill's going to be...
He never has done this show. We've asked him a million...
He wants to do your show.
He's agreed.
Really?
Yes.
I've asked him a billion times.
And he said now,
He's
Bill...
very busy for 30 years.
He said, if Bill... He said, now, Bill will help you sell some books. He said, now, before he gets off, it's about selling the book. This book tells you exactly
I'm dying to get
most of us are raised. We are who you are, but where you come from, how you're raised, and who raised you. And be able to sit in the pinnacle of power and be able to look at the president and say, Mr. President, I'm so sorry. I don't believe that. I can't go home and sell it. It doesn't make sense. I wasn't raised that way. That's tough when the president says the country needs you. And I had to grab his hand back and say, the country needs you too, Mr. President. Needs us all. We're all in this together. And this little book here will tell you how to do it. My daughter, Heather, wrote it.
Okay, so, but
I'm going to tell Arnold's watching. He said you're going to watch tonight, so you're going to talk to Arnold.
So you're trying to get the nomination of not the Democratic Party anymore. You're an independent.
I think there should be an independent party. I think there should be an American
party. Because the Democratic Party seems to be going the way of the Democratic Socialist Party. That's a different party. Bernie Sanders always said, I'm not a Democrat. I'm a Democrat, exactly right. A Democrat socialist. I caucus with the Democrats, he said. He ran as a Democrat, but he's a Democratic socialist. Now Mandami in New York, he is a Democratic socialist also, not a Democrat per se. We only have two parties, so you get in that bit.
Bill, here's what you have.
Could I ask the question?
Yes.
Is this where the Democratic Party is going? Is the whole Democratic Party going to be the Democratic Socialist Party?
No. First of all, we are a long way away from 2028. We are not at 2026. We have not had any party primaries. Okay. We are talking about two people who have very compelling messaging strategies and have gotten rightfully a lot of attention for them. But don't think that defines the Democratic Party, which, by the way, is at this point the pro-democracy party. It is a tent big enough. It is a tent big enough to have Liz Cheney and AOC. That is an unwieldy tent. It is very, very, very big. And part of the problem is the Democrats have so many people inside the tent and so much chaos happening on the political landscape, they do not know which direction they're marching in. But woe to anybody that is trying to write the epitaph for the Democratic Party.
Well, let me just say this. I was a Democrat all my life. They better figure out how they lost people like me. Okay? And the only thing I have said, when you quit worrying about the working person, their working conditions, you're worried more about a person that's able-bodied and capable of working that won't work versus me who will work. There's something wrong. They lost it.
All right. Gotta leave it there. Thank you very much. Time for new rules, everybody. New rules. Thank you. I think it's been a great last show. All right, new rule. Someone must tell the headline writers at InStyle magazine who wrote Priyanka Chopra goes topless under her plunging blazer that it's not topless if we can't see your tits. As if all women aren't topless underneath their clothing. Not to start a scandal, but right now, I'm bottomless underneath these pants. New rule, just because penguins look like they're wearing tuxedos doesn't mean they want to get married. There's been a lot of romanticizing penguin love in popular culture, but what scientists recently learned is most penguins are monogamous only for the season. Then they find a new mate each year. Not to mention all the penguins who never marry because they get cold feet. Someone's going to get fired for that one, huh? All right, new rule. It's time we admit that one reason our kids' test scores are going down is that we no longer make playgrounds designed to weed out the stupid ones. New rule, if ducking down when you get out of a helicopter is the only thing keeping the blade from chopping your head off, then maybe it's best just to wait till the fucking thing comes to a stop. Call me paranoid, but giant whirring blades scare me. I won't even masturbate under a ceiling fan. I mean, when you're on a plane, they don't even let you stand up until you're at a full stop at the gate. But helicopters, yeah, you're good to go. Watch your head. Watch it roll off your neck, you know. New rule, stop expecting me to remember which of my 27 passwords went with your particular website, which I haven't visited since 2017. It's like I'm on a 70s game show called Locked Out.
Lamar from Rivervale, New Jersey. You get 3 guesses or you get locked out. Okay. Is it my birthday, college graduation year, exclamation point? Sorry, no. Okay, is it my pet's name, favorite sports team, 69? No, not that. Well, then fuck off. Stop making me prove I'm me. If the Russians stole my identity so they can pay my parking tickets, I give up. Their long game is much better than mine. And finally, new rule, we have to create a special 5 stages of grief just for mass shootings. The one we have, anger, denial, bargaining, depression, and acceptance. That's fine for personal grief, but if it's political at all, we should acknowledge our 5 stages really are. Someone on your side definitely did it. This theory I saw on the internet proves I'm right. Fuck you, you're why everything is terrible. I know you are, what am I, and please don't be the same ethnic group as me. What I'd like to do now is prove to you what a fool's errand it is to try and connect today's brand of nut who commits political murder to the other side. Take Ryan Ruth, he's the lying in the bushes weirdo who's on trial now for attempted assassination of President Trump, and he's representing himself, always a great strategy right up there with doing your own dentistry. He started his courtroom presentation by saying, "Why are we here? Is it not to care for one another and to hold one another? Because nothing says care for one another like pointing a gun at someone's head while they're golfing." Like all these killers, his politics was all over the map. He somehow supported both Bernie Sanders and Vivek Ramaswamy, 2 guys who you couldn't sit next to each other at a wedding. And his choice in 2016 was Trump, and then he tried to kill him. So I guess he's a swing voter. His politics are so in the weeds, he was literally in the weeds. Trump's other would-be assassin, Thomas Crooks, a.k.a. McLovin, had donated money to Democrats. So Republicans said, well, there you go. A liberal who took it too far and wanted Trump dead. Except investigators believe Crooks left hundreds of social media comments that were anti-immigrant. Then why shoot the most anti-immigrant president we ever had? And Crooks, a registered Republican, had also been researching Biden's travel schedule, so it looks like he would have been just as happy to shoot him. Or Princess Kate, who it seems he'd been casing as a potential target. So he was the worst kind of lone gunman, a slut. On his voter registration, he checked it's complicated. That's why this is such a tedious game. Always hunting for evidence that whatever killer it is had whatever politics are the opposite of yours, trying to prove that because this week's chinless incel voted for Dr. Oz, it means something. It doesn't. What this is really about is a hole in the soul, and broken families, and gun glorification, and getting brain raped by the internet. David DePape was, according to the Chronicle, a hemp jewelry maker and pro-nudity activist from San Francisco. Would you peg that guy as likely to break into Nancy Pelosi's house and try to kill her husband with a hammer? Well, he did, because he also believed in QAnon and Pizzagate, and the Jews bankrolled Hitler. Because he's not Antifa or MAGA, he's Gaga. So was Cody Balmer, who set fire to the house of the governor of Pennsylvania, as one does when you're fed up with politics. Cody sure was. He once shared a meme that said, both Democrats and Republicans would rather argue with each other than work to solve the problems we are facing. Exactly, Cody. A pox on both their houses, which I'll now start burning down. This is not about politics. Have you people really never had a bipolar girlfriend? Last month brought us the Minnesota church killer, Robin Westman, born Robert Westman. So naturally, the conservatives were like, see, trans. That's some of that out there liberal shit. See, this is what you get. Well, no, that's not why we got what we got. Trans was not the cause of this. Now, maybe Robin really was trans.